Lesson 330. I will not hurt myself again today. Welcome to the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles students. My name is Judith and this is part of the Lucid Mind Center, a virtual center for retraining the mind. And I started building on that Lucid Mind Center back in 2010 because for me the Course in Miracles made such an incredible impact in my life that I needed to find a way of sharing that with people. And since I started teaching Qigong back in 2021, it dawned on me how powerful a tool Qigong is, especially for A Course in Miracles students. And this year I am dedicating to recording a reading and contemplating a lesson together with you, and at the end guiding you to a Qigong class which is going to help you meditate on this particular lesson, internalize it and experience the meaning of it, also connecting to our source, our creator, and bringing back the awareness into your home, into the center of your awareness. Your mind is within spirit and your body is within the mind, and you want to come back and claim this as yours. Use this body which we have here in this human experience in the service of remembering who you truly are, and in the service of becoming a teacher of miracles, a teacher of God, if that's what you would like. Let's begin reading our lesson together, and I'm going to give you more instructions at the end. Lesson 330. I will not hurt myself again today. We have truly come a long way. We have only got 31 lessons left after this one. I will not hurt myself again. Let us this day accept forgiveness as our only function. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs? Forgiveness is the tool to return to see the real world, is to forgive ourselves, forgive the others, forgive our brothers, forgive the world, forgive Christ, forgive God, forgive your fate. Basically forgiving, letting go, overlooking, trusting, returning back into trust, developing your trust. Let us this day accept forgiveness as our only function. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Attack our minds. So this is not only your own mind, but also the mind of others. Why should you attack them and give them more pain? You don't want to do that, because we won't hurt ourselves again today. Why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs? No matter if you want to teach or not want to teach, you are teaching. You are teaching with your behavior. You're teaching with your attitude, the words you choose to say. You are teaching all the time. There's somebody watching you and thinking, if that person can do it that way, well, then I can do it that way too. So you are giving permission to other people to act and speak and do just as you do. And it is, and the way you're acting, doing and speaking, it shouldn't be something which you're controlling with your ego. It should be something which happens in connection, in communion with your higher self. And that higher self is in communion with God anyway. That Christ within you is already in communion. It's not that you have to connect the higher self with God. That is not what you have to do. You just have to decide, I'm not going to connect with the ego. I'm not going to engage with the ego. I'm not going to engage with negativity. Rather, I'm going to engage with my one true self, with the Christ consciousness within me. Because that Christ consciousness is already connected to God. This is what the whole story about soul and spirit is, and why this is an incredible level of confusion when people are saying, oh, my soul came here to this earth to purify itself. No. Because this is removing you from the connection from God. No. The soul is in a perfect state already. Some people are separating the word soul and spirit. And then if you want to, of course, talk with them, then you have to kind of try to understand what they are talking with, and then you kind of have to tune into it and not start arguing with them. Allow them to stay in their belief. You don't want to activate the ego. But for yourself, you got to understand, the way the Course is teaching us is that the soul or the spirit is already pure. The spirit is the Christ consciousness. It's the Holy Spirit which is translating for us while we are engaged in the ego. We want to disengage from the ego and engage with our true self, which is permanently in connection with God, is permanently an extension. It is like, if you imagine that palm of the hand is God, and this is you, this is your true self. Your true self is automatically connected to the hand. It cannot not be disconnected. And what you are engaging with, you can either engage with that true self here, or you can engage with the ego, which is on the outside here, which is maybe the nail. Imagine the ego is the nail. So you, instead of engaging with the nail, you have to engage with the whole self of yours, because that whole self of yours is already connected to God. Hope that analogy makes sense. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Why should we teach them they are powerless? Teach the other minds that they are powerless, and teaching and confirming it to ourselves. When God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs. So that means for us and for them. We're just gonna reinforce and remind ourselves, and with our reminding ourselves, remind others. I am already whole. I am already complete. I am already one with God. And then expressing this to the other ones. You are already whole. You are already perfect. You have just forgotten who you are. You wouldn't say this like that. You don't say to them, you have forgotten who you are, accusing them of that. No, you just maybe say, yeah, but maybe there's another way to look at that. That would be a way of reminding them that maybe there's another way to look at this thing. And then let them come out with the tirade, why not? And then say, yeah, but maybe you could look at it from this angle. Soft. Connect with the softness, the benevolence, the kindness within you. I just have to say, has to be very, very important that you don't go into a false humility, because false humility is even more destructive than aggression, because then you are believing yourself of some sort of a sainthood, and it's then very difficult to see that the ego has engaged, that the ego is pretending to be a saint. It's a tricky one. So why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs? The mind that is made willing to accept God's gift has been restored to spirit. You see? The mind which is willing to accept God's gift is restored to spirit, because spirit is already perfect. Is restored to spirit and extends its freedom and its joy, as is the will of God united with its own. The self which God created cannot sin. The self which God created cannot sin. If you are taking this Course in Miracles as the philosophy, and if you follow this, there cannot be a spirit or a self which can sin. Therefore, it is not that spirit or that self which comes to this earth to know itself, or to coming to the purgatory and to become a better soul. No, the soul and the spirit is already in perfection. And you can hear me, I'm very emotional about this. I feel very strong about it, and it's only at this level that I am expecting you to kind of understand after 329 days of training, 329 days of contemplating of who you truly are. because you are that one Son of God, totally abstract, not visible, not experienceable with our senses, with our five senses. What is experienceable with your five senses is the negative emotion. That is hurting in the body. But what you want to do is you want to remove that emotion and then allow it to shine. And then it's your maybe sixth sense which is experiencing that expansion of your heart, of the expansion of the liver, this kindness, this benevolence, and it seems like it's shining out from your whole body. The wisdom, it's shining out from your whole center, if you will. And it's not from the body even, it's from the center, from your awareness of self. And each one of the negative emotions, it kind of contracts. And you want to kind of let go of this ego once and for all and allow this light to shine. But it's not a light which is visible to your eyes or to your senses at all. It's a light which needs to expand, which has a need to create, which has got a need to reach communion and understanding. It's totally abstract, and we are sharpening our sixth sense, those extra senses, those senses which have got nothing to do with our physical experience, if you will. It's Sunday today, so I'm preaching. The mind that is made willing to accept God's gift has been restored to spirit and extends its freedom and its joy, as is the will of God united with its own. The self which God created cannot sin and therefore cannot suffer. And this is what we want to connect. We want to connect with the self which God created, which we can call Christ consciousness, we can call the Holy Son of God, we can call it the extension of the divine consciousness, we can call it the extension of the universal spirit. You can call it whatever you want. Remember, and that is what we've been training for 329 days, that words are just symbols of symbols and twice removed from reality. It is not about the words. It is about what is the truth which is hidden by those words. What is the truth which those words are symbolizing, which are pointing towards? What is this behind there? And I always call it when you touch the soul of somebody, that you're touching the soul of somebody when you are in alignment, when you're seeing the same vision and agree the words and say, this is soul, and this is spirit for me, this is the same, okay, now I understand you. Now we have the holy triangle again. You, me, and our common understanding. The Holy Trinity, as I've been talking about to you yesterday. The self which God created cannot sin and therefore cannot suffer. Let us choose today that He be our identity, that self which God created, that Holy Son of God. We want to choose today that this be our identity. He, that the Christ consciousness, that Christ within us, that holiness within us, that innocence within us, that He be our identity today. And thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. We want to escape from it. We don't want to do this no more. It doesn't help us. It's not bringing us nowhere. It's not taking us nowhere. We've got to engage with that true identity, with whatever we are doing, with whatever our worldly deeds are, whatever that may be. You're constantly meeting humans. And when you're meeting those humans, you want to engage with that true identity of who you truly are. That is what we want to do. That is how we are teaching others. By finding it within ourselves and never attacking them, never attacking their worldview or belief system or whatever. Rather just shine the light on it and allow it to see what happens. Let us choose today that He be our identity and thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. And it's actually a very short prayer today. It goes like this. Father, your Son cannot be hurt. And this is what you want to meditate on today. And if we think we suffer, we but fail to know our one identity we share with His. And that is very, very important. Coming away from that victim identity. You are not a victim. And there is no victimizer. You got to return to this true identity of who you truly are. And if we think we suffer, we but fail to know our one identity we share with you, with that Father, with that Creator of ours. We would return to it today, to be made free forever from all our mistakes and to be saved from what we thought we were. And this is the last lesson of the special thought, what is creation? We are co-creators. We are creating with God, and we are either expanding the light, we are expanding the divine, or we are creating more fear, making more fearful dreams, dreaming on, punishing others or punishing ourselves. That is just dream figures, which are futile in the expansion of what we have decided and chosen to do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have dedicated all this time to this course. We have chosen to take this upon us and understand what it means and shine the light. We're going to read this lesson one more time with these ideas in mind, with this direction of ideas, if you will. And afterwards, I'm going to guide you to the Qigong classes. And in the Qigong class, keep the book next to you. You read the idea, and I also like you to read the prayer. And if you're going to do a generic Qigong class, you want to do this after the purification, after you can feel that you are connected. In Qigong, we're going to connect to the earth, we're going to line up, we're going to do a little bit of purification, just shaking a few things out, maybe longer, depending on what class you're doing. And after you're starting to calm down and you start growing the Qi, maybe I say, think of your affirmation, or your prayer. Now it's the time to apply that. This is when you want to pause the video, or maybe I'm giving you enough time to do it, and then it is when you want to read the idea and you want to read the prayer, and then keep it there next to you, and then continue doing the movements, whatever that is. If we are expanding, connecting to heaven, bringing it down, or if we are bringing up the confidence of the earth up, connecting to heaven and reinforcing the pillar of light, whatever we are doing, keep the book next to you. Keep it next to you, so if you forget what it is, you can always glance back at the book and remember, okay, this is where I'm going. As I have said to you before, we are in charge, we are in control. And what we are doing is we are creating a channel of where we are allowing our mind to flow within. Because when we're not creating a channel, the mind is going all over the place. The thoughts are going, and you don't want that. You want to create a street, you want a motorway where you are allowing your thoughts to go along towards the light. And each one of those lessons is helping us reinforcing that channel, reinforcing that road, that motorway, highway, whatever you want to call it, that path. This is what we're doing. It's giving us a framework where we are going. Okay? Remembering that you are spirit, and that spirit needs no purgatory. Spirit does not need any education. Spirit is pure. It's the energy. What we need to do is we need to undo the ego, let go of this madness, and engage into this what we already are. Okay? With this in mind, let's read the lesson one more time. Lesson 330. I will not hurt myself again today. Let us this day accept forgiveness as our only function. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs? The mind that is made willing to accept God's gifts has been restored to spirit and extends its freedom and its joy, as is the will of God united with its own. The self which God created cannot sin and therefore cannot suffer. Let us choose today that He be our identity and thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. And the prayer goes like this: Father, your Son cannot be hurt. And if we think we suffer, we but fail to know our one identity we share with you. We would return to it today, to that one identity with a capital I, to be made free forever from all our mistakes and to be saved from what we thought we were. And really, at this level, it's about experience. It's about experience. And this Qigong class, which I'm guiding you to, is going to just help you to set the tone for the day, or set the tone for the night, if that's what you're going to do. But you want to do this Qigong class to expand this awareness, to expand this idea into your awareness. So first we become aware that we are not a body, then we expand our awareness, and then we expand the idea into this awareness. And for that we're using the breath, we're using the body's movements, we're using our mind's intention, we are using maybe sounds, we are using our voice to reading this out loud, which I recommend to you. We are just basically using whatever we have at our disposal to remember who we truly are and choose not to hurt ourselves again today or any other day. So for this particular Course in Miracle lessons, I'm inviting you to this standing Qigong class, this seated Qigong class. Here you have What is Creation, which I recommend you read with me at least one time together. And here is the list of all Qigong classes if you would like to do another one. Enjoy.